right, here we are back with another vendor spotlight with Christine, our social media expert. And today we've got Ed Godzishewski and Steve Ryfle, a couple of world-renowned authors that most of you probably know. And they have just come out with a book, sitting to Ed's right, called there it is, Godzilla the First 70 Years, which just came out. This thing's like hardcover and thick and weighs approximately 110 pounds. So, Steve, why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about how this book came about or how you were approached or you approached Toho?
Well, thank you for having us, and thanks for inviting us to your event. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, Ed and I have been collectively or cumulatively writing about this stuff for about 500 years now, if you combine the two of us and everything we've done. And I think we got to the point, and as you know, and a lot of people may know, we both ran afoul of Toho in different ways, to different extents earlier in our writing careers, and that's just because Toho, yeah, exactly, right? So where's Godzilla? Well, if you look at the disclaimer, you might find it.
Oh, wait, what's this one?
Oh dear,
Oh, you
see,
got them all.
this is a part of our checkered pasts. So yeah, we lived and learned about intellectual property and copyright and trademark and all kinds of crazy things that I think we were a little, at least speaking for myself, a little naive about. Just thought I was doing a good job in the beginning, but over time, you learned how things work, and we continued to do our research on these films that we really love, and trying to help tell the story of the history of them and the people who made them. And lo and behold, a couple of years ago, Toho actually approached me to write a 70th anniversary book, which is something I
Wow.
never would have expected to happen, but it did. And then I asked if we could do it together, because that's the way we've been rolling the last few decades or so on most of these projects. And so yeah, we were is basically asked to work with Toho and this publisher, Abrams, that does these amazing movie books, and put
Wow.
a concept together. We had to develop the concept ourselves, basically. And then, once it was all agreed upon, everything was copacetic, they turned us loose. Eventually, we signed a contract to write the book and all that sort of thing. It was a couple of years long process before we actually started working on it from the time you first reached out. Um, but I think we're pretty damn proud of it, because what we were trying to do was write like the best Godzilla book for the widest possible audience. I think that's why I
Right.
keep repeating that phrase, because we know that a lot of people are really knowledgeable and that there's a lot of information already out there floating around in cyberspace and everywhere. But we also know there's a lot of people who love Godzilla but aren't steeped in all of that knowledge, and we want them,
Hmm.
through a book like this, we want to get them more interested. We want them to be interested in the people and the craft and all the stuff, the history behind it, to a degree they may not be before. So it's kind of like for a little bit of everything for everybody, hopefully. And it's a Toho book, so it focuses on their productions. The MonsterVerse films, of course, every time they come out, they get their own book. So this is really about Toho's productions, both live action and animated.
All right. So I was going to ask, is it mostly the Toho films, or is the legendary films included in here also? And what about the '98 film? Is that in here
It
as
is.
well?
It's the subtitle of the book is the illustrated official history of the Japanese production. So
All right.
that tells you where it's at. Um,
Perfect.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a deep dive into all the films from 54 up until -1.
Basically, up until the Academy
Perfect.
Award. Yeah, up until the
Nice.
yeah, and there's production history. It's similar to the works that we've done before, but I think it goes in some cases goes into more detail. And then because we were working with Toho, I think the big one of the big differences is that we had access to the digital archive of Toho's photographs going back to 1954. So
Wow.
there's more than 900 pictures in this book,
Wow.
and it's a coffee table size book. So some of the pictures are full size, some of them are 2-page spreads. We were really able to. I mean, it's a visual medium. You need to be able to tell the story in pictures as well as words. And so
Right.
I think that's what sets this apart.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
when I was talking.
one,
Oh, go ahead.
that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was saying when I was talking about the book on my other podcast, I basically mentioned that if there's anybody who's sort of a walking encyclopedia of what stills have been in what books or appeared wherever, it would be Ed. So,
Yep.
Ed, I'm assuming you had a hand in selecting a lot of these stills.
I had a hand in selecting all of them, in fact.
Ah, there you go.
I mean, that, one of the things that's always frustrated me about Japanese books, as good as they are, is that, they often tended to print all these fantastic photos in like a postage stamp size. It was
Mm.
always very frustrating to see all, these really wonderful scenes, but you can't really enjoy fully what's in the scene because it's printed so small. So one of the things we try to address with this book is to, not only print a lot of photos that haven't been seen or are very rare, but also to print them to the extent possible in a large format. And that's why, full page photos, sometimes 2-page spreads on a single photo is something that we're able to do here. And I think that helps to really show off the workmanship and everything that's in these scenes that we enjoy so much. So I really, really kind of proud of the fact that we were able to do something like that. And I think that's one of the things that makes it stand unique, even among books from Japan.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that because I love like seeing the behind the scenes photos, the making of, and a lot of people it's hard to find that kind of stuff. And a lot of books that are out now you'd have to get from right from Japan. So I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for Godzilla collectors in the States to have, an official book that has everything covered and maybe new photos none of us have seen before. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I guarantee you there's a good number of them that haven't been printed before.
Awesome.
So when you work with a publisher, do you just give them a bunch of photos and say, here, print these big? Or did you guys have a hand in the layout and the
Well, as far as
analysis?
we didn't do the layout. They hired a designer to do the layouts. And we worked with the editor and the designer both. Basically, uh, for the most part, Steve was doing all the writing. I was selecting images, and it kind of evolved
Mm.
actually because at first, I had the impression from the contract that we were only going to be allowed to use like up to 400 photos. So considering we have 30 films to cover, I was thinking, well, I got to really judiciously pick all these pictures and not only pick what's really nice, but also at the same time pick things that tell the story or complement the story of each film. And so for the first few, I was only picking like 10, 15 at a time. But as the designer started putting the things together, she was saying, "Well, give me some bunch of alternatives, and we'll figure out what to do with the alternatives." And she just started adding more and more pictures. And about a month or so in, we got kind of came to realize that, well, gee, maybe there really isn't a limit on how many photos we can use. So yeah, it kind of from that point forward, the photo selection process was a little bit different because then we started to go for as much as we could get away with.
That's great. So how
Nice.
is this book for like, say someone's a total novice and they just want to start getting into Godzilla? Can
Yeah,
a
I mean, I
beginner like
hope.
jump into the book and
Yeah. Well,
follow along or
it's not. I mean, it's chronological in its history. It goes, it starts from 1954, and it does tell some of the familiar stories. I mean, the
Mm.
story of Tanaka flying over the ocean and looking down and imagining a monster coming out of the water has been told a lot of times, and the story of the Lucky Dragon and how it relates to the first film has been told many times. But at the same time, and so we didn't want to dwell on those things, but it felt wrong to not include them because there
Mm.
are novices who we want novices to read a book like
hmm.
this. We want, I mean, I don't know if novice is the right word, but people who are just sort of introducing themselves to this type of film on maybe a deeper level and wanting to become, more knowledgeable and having that interest. I want them to know that those stories are important, and it would be weird to exclude them. But we tried to find new angles and new information about each film, new stories. I mean, that's what I say this all the time. That's what makes it fun for Ed and myself. We don't just like regurgitate the same information that we've been for years and years. Every time we do a new project, whether it's the Honda book or some audio commentary that we've been asked to do, and we've been fortunate to do a lot of these things over the years, but we always try to find new information because frankly, that's what makes it fun and interesting for us. And then we know or hope by extension that makes it fun and interesting for other people to dive in. So, but I think the other thing I would say is, you know, if you're just coming to Godzilla on a deeper level for the first time, this book is kind of like a, even though it's written chronologically, it's sort of magazine style. So you could, no matter what film you're watching out of all those, you know, 30 films or whatever, you can just open the book to that chapter and hopefully learn something more about that movie that'll enhance your enjoyment of watching it, whether you just finished watching it or you're about to watch it. And you can jump around, you know, from film to film. If you read it chronologically, I think you'll find that there's an overarching theme, and that theme really has to do with the way the films, to greater or lesser extents, always reflect the kind of the shadow of the war and of war in general. And you can really see that bookend with 54 and -1. And that was kind of where that idea came from. And it's not a heavy-handed thing; it's just kind of there, and it comes up from time to time. But yeah, it's written as like magazine style. You can open it to any chapter and learn something. And then there's breakout sections on the different types of special effects, like suit making or suit acting, and
Wow.
special effects department. And again, because we had access to all those pictures, we could do those kinds of things and show you how the suit is made rather than just tell
Nice.
you. So that's a big difference.
I was say, because like, what was your approach? Because it sounds like you did most of the writing, right? And Ed, you contributed to the writing as well, or you just added photos? And like, what was your approach to getting the information for this? 'Cause I know you said you wanted to put in new stories. Like, did you have access to people you could talk to at Toho and like the
Well,
actors and?
well, we did a number of original interviews for the book. I went 3 times during
Nice.
2003 to do interviews. Altogether, I can't remember how many people altogether, maybe 12 different people. So, you know, like anyone from suit actor Kitagawa, suit maker Wakasa and Shinada, director Okawara, Kaneko, Tomiyama, a couple other people. But anyway, we did a lot of original research.
Mm.
And, you know, when we first started with this book, back when we were first approached about it, and, you know, Steve wrote up a nice proposal, that was like, what, 2022?
Oh
So
wow.
or 21. It took a while. It took almost 2 years for them to organize a contract between Toho and Abrams. So we were just sitting there waiting for
Wow.
the go signal. But during that time, I went in and to my book collection and just started pulling stuff out, you know, figuring where I thought good information was. And my wife was helping me translate a lot of stuff. We had a lot of stuff translated over that 2 year waiting period so that
Oh
we kind
wow.
of hit the ground running, and, you know, not have to try and do all the research in the last compressed time frame of about 8 to 9 months, which was all the time we actually had to write the
Wow.
book.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was just gonna ask, how long did it take? So you had about 8, 9 months to
Uh,
put
Pretty much from March till
like
January.
officially.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the first you know, I think the first finished draft was done in the fall, but then there was some revisions that had to be. So yeah, we worked on it through January, but I think
Wow.
I mean, if you want to talk in terms of a first draft, see the other thing that was crazy is because of the time crunch, like we would turn in a chapter and they would immediately, after it was copy edited and proofed and all that stuff, it would immediately go into design. So they were designing the book
Wow.
chapter by chapter because they had to have it finished by a certain deadline in order to get it out when they wanted to get it out. So you know, it wasn't like you had you finished the entire manuscript and then turn it in. We're turning it in, but
Mm.
basically chapter by chapter. So that proposal and the outline and everything, the structure that was predetermined was really important, and to kind of stick to that. There were some changes, but not anything too. And that's why we kept it simple too in terms of the structure. It's
Right.
very straightforward and nothing too crazy. So yeah, I mean, it was really time compressed. I think I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but I think the manuscript and the drafts that comprise the full manuscript were turned in sometime between like April or May and September, and then it was revision time. Maybe
Wow.
October, but I think it was September. So yeah, it was like, I don't know, how many months is that? 6? It's pretty
Not
pretty
many.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm
So-
really excited to get a copy. And I mean, you guys will be at Godzillafest signing and on a panel. So this is a great opportunity for collectors, you know, to get your hands on this book. It's a really
This is
important piece of history, I think.
thank you, and this is a really fun part for us, is like going out and talking about it and kind of enjoying this sort of window of opportunity to just, you know, share what we learned and our experience doing it. And I mean, we're really proud of it. I've said it before, I just don't think there's never been a book published like this in the English language about this subject matter. I mean, I don't say that in any boastful manner. It just is what it is. I mean, it's, you know, it's comprehensive.
You're right.
Yeah, and we're really proud of it, and we hope people will enjoy it. You know, that's the whole point, is to share it.
Definitely. And before we forget, as I throw all my books aside here, we've got this one, the Ishiro Honda biography, that is now available. This is the hardback. It's now available in the softbound, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think there'll be some of those at the show as well.
I hope so.
Nice.
Yeah, that's essentially in its second printing. So that, yeah, I can't say I'm not proud about that one either. That was actually a much longer journey to get to that
Oh yeah.
to that book. Yeah.
So is there anything in the softbound that's not in the hardbound, or is it just the cover's different?
There's a couple of little corrections here and there.
Oh, okay. So even if you have the hardbound, you need to go and buy the softbound.
I hope so. It's lighter. It's easier to carry around.
Oh, there you go. So if you buy the 110-pound History of Godzilla, then you can get the lighter version of the Honda book.
Right.
It won't be as
I'll
bad.
set it.
Balance each other out. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, you know, thanks for doing this with us, and we'll
Yeah,
look
thank
forward to
you.
seeing you guys in about 3 weeks or less.
Coming up fast.
That's right.
All right. Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks so much for your
Very
help.
much.
And Ed and Steve will be at the guest dinner on Friday night. So if you want to just hang out, have a drink, have some food, talk Godzilla, that'll be probably the easiest place to get access to all the guests and things.
Very good.
So go buy tickets, go get ready, take off work, whatever you got to do,
Yep.
and check out Godzillafest.com for all the information. Coming up the 19th, 20th, and 21st of September at the Holiday Inn Golden Gateway. So,
It's going to be a good time.
all right. Thanks again.
And we'll see you there.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.